welcome to this episode of Mercy Can't Stop Her, the podcast where we share the stories of women's resilience through chaos, crisis, and the challenges of life. I am your host, Judith Kambia Obatusa, JKO. On today's episode, I wanted to talk about something that many people experience. So we talk about how people in the trenches of life are able to hold on to their dreams despite the experiences they've had or are having, negative experiences. And one thing that you hear people say is, oh, I'm too old. I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do this for myself, improve myself in this area. Or, oh no, I can't do that. Can't you see my problems? Can't you see my life? I can't. So there's this feeling of not being worthy or not having enough of whatever it is we're equating ourselves with or comparing ourselves with. And today I just want to tell you a story of two people. So I have a friend who just turned 70 early this year. And every time this friend reminds me that, oh, they're so old. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. I can't. This person has no health issues, has a house, has property, has great assets in terms of cars and all of that, has a great pension, and yet feels that because they are 70 and they've worked all their lives, there's really nothing they can do. They feel they are too old to do any other thing. And they're not saying it because, oh, they're really happy. They're saying it with sadness and like, oh, as if being old is something that will stop you from doing any other thing. Being old limits you. So I'm not as strong as I used to be. I'm not the man I used to be. I'm not the woman I used to be. And being old, I'm Nigerian Canadian, so being old is a blessing. And for Africans, we look at age as experience. We dignify old age. We respect those that are older. Well, when I was growing up, that was how it was. And so this is the situation with this friend. And I have another friend who, at the age of 70, started writing. Just said, you know what, this pandemic, I'm not just going to sit around. I'm going to, let me go and write. Let me do something. And she started writing. And 2 years after, she's written, almost 3 years after, that's March 2020, she started writing. And this is September 2022. She has written about 10 books. She's got a publisher now. She's got an editor. She's not where she used to be in 2020. It's like her dream life just dropped on her laps when she decided to do something. So this is about, I'm giving you examples. I've given examples with people that is about age. But for some people, it's about the situation of their life. For example, those in domestic violence situations, or a health situation, or maybe financial. And things are really hard. And it makes you feel like there's no way out. There's nothing else I'm good enough to do because my life is this way, because my relationship isn't working, because my family situation is not the way other people's own are or not as good as I wished that it would be. But there are many people who, in the place of despondency, sadness, despair, discouragement, disappointment, the place of lack, limitation, they found their dream lives. J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter books, was a single mom in their circumstances when she started writing. And or that may not be when she started writing, but that's when she wrote. And lots of rejection, but eventually, yes, she is with films, film, films, and all that money, because she didn't allow where she was to stop her. The thing is, if you still have breath in your nostrils, if we still have breath in our nostrils, even those who are deemed disabled, but I prefer to say differently abled. I remember Steve Hawkins of blessed memory. His physical limitations didn't stop him from being a formidable and respected man before his death. It may not have been easy. When I watch the way he has to communicate and even move around, I feel it couldn't have been easy. But there's just something when we think in our hearts that we still got something to offer. I have personal stories and I have friends who have come through really hard times. And that's why this Mexican stopper, that's what we talk about here. And why am I saying this? Is because I really want to encourage someone who is in this place of, for example, domestic violence. That can have a debilitating effect. It can actually take away your zest for life. And you put one foot in front of the other just to just to cope. But yes, as you cope in practical terms in just living your life, I want to encourage you that those dreams you held dear, those things you thought about when you were growing up, like I used to write when I was a kid. I wanted to look after children. Right now, I have 4 kids, and uh, I really, really appreciate teachers because I cannot, I cannot, I can't be a teacher. So right now, I wanted to have a daycare when I was a teenager. Nah, I don't want to have a daycare anymore. But I celebrate everyone who does that work. God bless you. So I've been in a place in my life when it seemed like there was, when will my troubles end? But I find that what we focus on, we magnify. It becomes bigger. So no matter where we find ourselves, no matter the relationships around us, no matter the situation in our lives where it seems as if nothing is working, or, for example, age is no longer on our side, I want to encourage you that, you see, as long as you have breath in your nostrils, you are not done yet. You still got something to give. You still got value to add to those around you, to the life that you have, to this world that you're in. Some people are lying on hospital beds and they're still inspiring others. Don't give up on your dreams. And one of the things that has helped me to not give up on my dreams is not allowing myself to become isolated. Being isolated is one of those things that it's easy to do when we are sad. When, for example, I'm having a bad relationship in my marriage, and I don't want to I don't want to let other people know about it, and that's okay. Yes, you don't want everybody to know your business, but you deserve little oasis in your desert. When life is hard, it is a desert. There is no refreshing. There's nothing to cool you off. So you're in the heat of the desert of life, but there are oases, and those oases can be human beings. Most times they are human beings. They can be human beings, as whether individuals or groups. They can even be a book. It can be a podcast like this one, or they can be music. But one thing is, don't give up on yourself. Keep seeking to come out of that place where your heart is saying, let me just throw in the towel. Let me just throw in the towel. Because where is the end in sight? There's no end in sight. Sometimes there's no end in sight, but that does not mean that it will not end. So don't relegate yourself to the backwoods of life because you are older. My friend who has written so many books, she's a great inspiration to me. Whenever I think about her, I know that no matter how old I am, it's never too late for me. My friend is speaking everywhere. She's all over the world. People are listening to her in her interviews. People are reading her books. She's getting great reviews. And her life has never been sweeter. And she got this at the age of 70. So you can too. Whether you think that you're old, too old, I'm too old to get a husband. I'm too old to go back to school. I'm too old to sing, even though I love singing. And singing makes me happy. I'm too old to learn an instrument. I'm too old to write a book. I'm too old to get a new job. There are many reasons we can give. Or my life isn't together. I'm a parent. I have a child who needs special attention. My kids are very young, and my home situation is not happy, and I don't have money. Some things can be done without money. Don't just give up. The truth is, I am not trying to say that whatever challenges we are having as people, I'm not trying to undermine your challenges or make you feel as if my own life is perfect. My life is not perfect. But because I have seen people who have not given up, see, the only way to move forward is from inside our hearts. Some people, they can go to Buckingham Palace, keep them in there, and let them dine at the king's table, and let them be served by footmen, let them be everything they need, ladies in waiting, all of it, and yet they will still be unfulfilled. So no matter where we are, no matter how dark the dungeon is, no matter how deep the valley is, no matter how desperate the situation is, please, I'm here to say to you, do not give up on the future that is bright, that is yours. I'm here to tell you that your future is bright as long as you have breath in your nostrils. You are not done yet. There's still value for you to add to the lives around you, even by a smile on your face, even though right in your heart you are weeping for the life situation you found yourself, but you're still willing to give. See, the thing is, we have to be willing to give. What propels many of the people that we hear about is, I have to tell my story so someone can read it, someone can find joy in it. Recently, I was part of an anthology, Relatable Voices, I'm going to put the link in the podcast. And the stories there are just to make you smile. After the pandemic, we're looking at how can we bring joy to people's faces through this pandemic and all the things that have happened to our world. And my friend Lucia Machwanto, I hope I did not butcher your name, Lucia. I'm going to put her name in the link. She's the host of the podcast, The Relatable Voices, where she shares the stories of authors and their motivations for their books. And she said, you know what, let me talk to all the authors I've had on my podcast. Let's come together and make people smile with our stories. In that book, I wrote my first trial of humorous nonfiction was in that book. And it just got published about 3 weeks ago. And that book, anyone reading it has a smile on their face because we all put our hearts into it. And our desire was to make people smile. So what would you like to do with your life? Would you like to make people smile? Would you like to take pressure off someone else? No matter what we're going through, it doesn't stop us from helping someone else. It doesn't stop us from adding value. So I think the first thing you really need to think about is, I want to do X, Y, Z. That's it. I want to help. It's always about love. Love is the propeller of progress. Many times, true success is not in monetary terms, is in what you achieve in the lives of others. And the thing about life, the beauty of life is that no matter how hard your own life is, you can still make someone's life better. And when you do that, it makes you so happy. It takes the focus off your challenges. And then your goodness begins to be magnified. Before long, what we're going through pales in comparison to the joy that we receive from sharing our value with the world around us. And so I'm here to say to you, you are not too old to reach for that dream. Your life situation is not the worst. Don't let people try to shame you. Yes, actually, some people will come and advise you not to reach for your dream. But I'm here to be your cheerleader, to say, reach for your dream, no matter how terrible life may look. Because then the light of your goodness will begin to dispel that darkness that wants to consume you. Yes, that's what mercy can't stop her is about. When we don't give up on our dreams, when we realize that because we have the breath in our nostrils, there is still something left for us to do. When we realize it, when we seek to add that value, to share that value, so someone's life, another person's life can be better, then you know what? Mercy won't stop you. Mercy can't stop us. Thank you so much for being part of this journey today. And I want to say thank you to everyone who tunes in, who chooses this podcast among the many podcast choices that are available. I want to say thank you. Please listen, review, like, and subscribe and share. Share. Tell someone that may think I'm too old, I'm too far gone, my life is such a mess. Tell them that, you know what? They still have value to share because they got breath in their nostrils, and they should reach out for that dream that they dropped sometime in the past. Because when they do that, mercy won't stop them. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of mercy can't stop her. See you next time.